Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. The Knockem Dead Comedy.
With me in your head, because I didn't.
No, I did. I told
hear
you.
Any of this. This is all like completely new stuff. So weirdo. I feel like you need to move over more because the thing's right in your face. $10 seconds.
This is Cubs Radio. Cubs Radio.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show, coming at you live from Governor's Comedy Club, the legendary Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. Thanks for joining us this morning. GovsRadio.com is the website. You can see our show there live right now.
What will you experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy murder mystery show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
I had an awesome time.
All right. She had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
Fundraisers, private parties, corporate events, restaurants, and more. Contact Knockem Dead Comedy for your event today.
Hi, everybody. It is Friday. It is September 2nd. It's freaking September already.
Jesus.
Damn it.
Stop time.
Hate that September crap. Welcome, everybody, to the Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast, coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club, where tonight you'll see Joe Sib. Sib,
I think, but I've never seen.
Me neither. That's tonight here at Governor's in Levittown. Tommy Gooch, tomorrow night. He's great. Rich Sheltis, tonight at McGuire's out in Bohemia. Nathan Norton is on that bill.
Oh, cool.
Nathan Norton, fastly becoming a good friend. He's
Schultz
great.
is good too.
Yeah?
I was on a show once with him where he was the headliner. It was a Halloween show,
Oh, nice.
and very, very, very cool guy, and very funny before he's cool. I will say he's probably more funny than he is cool.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Well, tomorrow night at McGuire's in Bohemia, Chris Monty.
So that I'm thinking about crashing that one too.
Great guy. Equally as great as he is funny, and he's pretty damn funny. So that's tomorrow night. Go to govs.com, check out their full schedule and what they got going on, and make yourself some reservations to some great clubs. So hi, everybody. It's Friday.
Supposedly.
So
If you believe the government.
And, we can never really fully believe the government.
Well,
So you're saying it's not Friday?
I'm saying that you can't prove to me that it's not another day.
Well, it isn't. Yeah, it is another day.
No, that's like if you're going to believe in one conspiracy theory, you have to believe in all of them. Because
So it's all or nothing when it comes to the conspiracy theories?
I mean, from a logical perspective, yes, because usually the reasons why somebody has a conspiracy theory that they believe in, it comes down to get boiled down to one of two things.
Yeah.
The government is out to get us all.
Okay.
And then the other one is there's some sort of global cabal that is...
Cabal.
Yeah, I
Good
just
word.
like saying that.
Cabal.
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 It's almost like throwing up without having to throw up. And I enjoy throwing up. So
Do you?
cabal. Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Like,
Well, you just gave me an interesting, kind of a bad segue to where I'm going to start the show today.
ooh,
But
this is what we do, Tony.
you're good at that.
We. It's a team.
All right. It's a team
It's
effort.
like- you're like, no, I want to distance myself.
Right now, I'm going to blame you.
Fucking stupidity.
So we weren't here yesterday, and we weren't here yesterday because,
Conspiracy, the government.
no. Actually, the segue would be throwing up.
Oh, okay.
That's the segue.
Oh, all right. Got excited.
We weren't here yesterday because I was working on a film. I was an extra. I'm not sure what it's actually called. They were calling it Evers Blueberry. That was the. But sometimes when they hire you for movies, they have like secret codes, so they don't really tell you what it is.
Yeah.
The real title, oh jeez, it escapes me now. Something chair.
The vagina chair.
Oh, that would be cool. And I was brought in with my stump. It was something chair. It stars Tom Holland, who is the current Spider-Man.
Yes. Love Tom Holland.
And then it also stars, is it Amanda Seyfried?
Oh,
is that,
Amanda
do I have the name?
Seyfried, yeah.
But that's her first name, Amanda?
Amanda Seyfried, yeah.
Yeah, she's in it as well.
Beautiful.
Yes, very good looking
and
girl.
just seems like a cool person.
Yeah.
Just like
I don't know
from
anything
what
about
I've
her.
seen in what tidbit of Hollywood kind of thing. She's an actress's actress kind of thing. Like,
And I think he is kind of too.
Yeah,
He's great as Spider-Man, and I've seen little bits of other things. And I look at like his
Bio.
career, his bio.
CV.
He's done some interesting stuff.
Right. That's like Daniel Radcliffe, sort of along the same
Yes.
lines. Like, oh, Harry Potter, he looks like Harry Potter. But the kid worked his shit.
And he's done a nice job to kind of not be typecast in that, or just be stuck there.
And he's a really good actor.
Yeah, he
like
is.
he was obviously not a good actor because he was fucking 11.
Right.
When they hired him for Harry Potter, but he took it seriously and decided to make a go of it.
Well, and speaking of which, have you seen these trailers for his new movie, Daniel Radcliffe?
No.
He's in.
I know he's good. Weird
Yeah.
Al. Yeah. No,
you haven't seen the trailers?
I'm intentionally not because I want to just experience it.
It looks freaking awesome. I cannot wait to see this movie. And Weird Al's in it.
Of course he is.
Yeah,
because Weird Al.
he's a genius.
It's that concept that Weird Al would not make anybody else do something that he wouldn't be willing to do himself.
Right.
He always invited the artists to be a part of
Right.
of his shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they all just were all like, no.
Right. Yeah. But they were quick to give him, like a surgeon was Madonna's idea.
Right.
But
oh yeah. No.
yeah.
That and it's amazing that and that's why you can tell like real artists and people who don't take themselves so seriously.
Right.
Because then you had the thing with Coolio.
Right. Coolio was pissed.
He goes, oh, it's an anthem of the street and everything. It's like, you need to really like examine what he does and then what he did with your song.
Right. And meanwhile, it's not even his song. That was a Stevie Wonder song.
Right. Well, his rap.
Hello, Kevin Epstein. Hello, Carol. So anyway, we were in here yesterday.
Yes.
I was
How did it go?
an extra on this show. I didn't see Tom Holland or Amanda
you did.
Seyfried. I saw some other dude who kind of looked familiar, and I looked him up, but I already forgot his name. Yeah, I didn't care. But now I've complained before.
Yeah.
When I've done extra work, it sucks.
Yeah.
When I
Waiting around.
the waiting around, and you're stuck kind of in this big giant room with a bunch of other losers, and everybody's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Every single time the person comes in that's going to make the announcements, everybody just lights up because they're hoping, please pick me, please pick me for something,
Look at me.
please. Yeah, it's exactly. And then of course you have your percentage of assholes who think, if I make myself known, this will be my big break. So they always try to get in the front, or they'll yell something, or they'll do something. They just end up getting yelled at for being idiots. When I did Hunters, that was actually a good experience. I got friendly with a couple of dudes, so we hung out all day. We had some good laughs, so that was a fine experience. I got a lot of screen time on that particular show. When I did Luke Cage, that was tough because I was working in a kitchen where real fire and whatnot,
Hot.
so we were sweating our asses off, and me on my foot all day long.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that was late hours. Yeah, that was tough. But even then, at least I got friendly with some people. We got to talking.
Right.
This one, I do this with everything. I like to be early to everything.
Sure.
I come in here, get set up. If everything's working fine and I have a half hour of doing nothing, so be it. Then I can just decompress and relax for the show. But you never know if something's going to happen, so I need that time. And same thing, I like to go into a situation. I like to sit in a corner by myself. I like to kind of take everything in and see what's happening here, and then I'll,
decide which woman that you would hook up with if the world ended and you guys had to repopulate the world. Yeah,
Yes.
I got you. I do that all the time too.
And yeah, there were some good-looking women.
Of course there were.
And plus, I just never know I don't do this often enough that I know what goes on or what I have to do, what's expected of me. So, and sure enough, I had to go for a fitting and clothes, and I had to take the leg off because I'm playing a Vietnam War amputee. This takes place in the 70s. So
I feel like I'm being pigeonholed.
oh, maybe a little bit. But I'm fine with that. So I sit in a corner. Sure enough, one guy comes walking over. Hey, man, seat taken? He's right across from me. I'm like, no, I know. And he sits down, and immediately, you a real Vietnam vet? And I go, do I look that old? Holy shit. He goes, well, I am. I'm like, okay.
Oh, my God.
Now,
please ask me about my service.
Well, that was the thing. So you're a vet, and I don't want to sound like I'm crapping on this guy, but he obviously...
I would pay extra for that.
He probably would have liked it.
When are we done here?
Can we get in touch with this guy? This guy obviously has some bad PTSD issues. All he talked about all day was the war and the horrible things he saw and what his friends saw and how this one is still messed up and his brother's still messed up and he doesn't talk to his two sons because of it, and on and on and on. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I'm sitting at like a cafeteria type table, and there's 4 seats. So this guy sits across from me. The next guy that comes, 70-something-year-old guy with this horrible wig. Like
Wheel of Moron.
Yes, absolutely. But this guy, I remember from when I did Hunters, because this guy is missing his right arm. So I should have known, like, of course they want vets who are missing limbs, whatnot. So I'm like, I see this guy coming. I'm like, I remember this asshole. Sure enough, he sits at our table. And when I met him at Hunters, I remember it just like it was yesterday, and he looks at me with the leg. He goes, oh, war is hell. Okay, pal. Sure enough, he sees me. He goes, "War is hell," because he has no idea who I am. He doesn't remember me. And I just went, "Yep." And he sits down. And this is another guy who never shuts up. And he is, but it's nothing. Yeah. So now him and PTSD guy are now. They start going back and forth.
Story topping.
Right. But then they start getting mad at each other because they kept interrupting each other. So both of them are taking turns interrupting, and both are taking turns yelling at each other for interrupting.
And they're both white guys.
No.
No.
The PTSD guy was African American.
Black dude.
And the other guy was white. And at first I'm like, fine, these guys can just talk to each other all day.
Right.
But then, like I said, they're actually getting mad at each other. So now I'm thinking, holy shit, these guys they're gonna fight.
It's not like I can run away.
Exactly. So I'm like, what the hell? So, and it was hot. It was hot. Big giant cafeteria. Everybody's miserable. Another guy sits in the fourth seat. He was very, which is fine, but he sits and he's got his book and he's not saying a word to anybody. I'm like, all right, that's fine with me, pal.
Wow.
Right.
Good for him.
So I'm trying to do the same thing. He's got books. I didn't bring a book. I brought a Newsday, which I haven't bought a newspaper in years, but I'm like, I knew I was going to have time.
Right.
But I'm burying my face in this paper just so I don't have to look up at anybody. I didn't even know Gorbachev had died. So I'm sitting there reading all the viewpoints and editorials on Gorbachev, which is fine because I find that he was a great man, so I find that very interesting. So they would make good co-stars for their own movie. Yeah, you're right, Kevin.
Like a buddy cop drama.
Right, it's always a white guy and a black guy.
Getting too old for this shit. I'm getting too old for this shit. I'm old too. Yeah.
So, and they were trying to top each other over horrible Vietnam stories, and they're just getting on. I'm like, oh my god, and they're both. God forbid I just look up, or sometimes I didn't even look up. They would just try to get my attention,
And
like
try to argue through you.
Yes, I'm like, oh, this is torture. So, right, so like you were joking, but it was true. I had to take the leg off. So it's not like I can get up and go anywhere. Yeah. So it's time for me to get the fitting. So they give me, I have to take the leg off. They take the leg. They actually took it. They're like, all right, we're going to hold on to this. And they took it.
Oh, because they wanted to give you more
time appropriate.
But don't want to confusing, like that. Those are modern crutches.
Exactly.
And you accidentally.
So they give me these, wood. Remember the yellow wood crutches that we had back then? They give a pair of those to me. They're too small for me. But you can see, I can immediately read their faces like, these are the only crutches we have. What are we going to do?
Sorry.
I actually said, it's fine. I'll deal with it. Because that's the idiot I am. So now I'm like hopping back to where I sit. And sure enough, you see now, even though I had shorts on and the leg is showing, I guess nobody noticed because now I'm getting all the looks. Like nobody knew, So all the people staring as I'm going by in crutches. I'm like, oh my God, this is torture. I sit down, but now it's that. These guys are fighting or trying to talk to me, and I literally can't go anywhere. Mm. And if I wanted to go anywhere, there's still, there were people all over, makeup artists and, the people in charge and us, and it was just a mess. So even if I wanted to go somewhere, it'd be tough to maneuver. So I'm stuck in my seat. And I'm even doing that. I'm even looking around. I'm like, that guy looks like he's normal. I would like to talk to him. Or, or I see one girl who's
his mouth looks forgiving.
Yeah. Sure. I see a girl who was she was looking at scripts. So I'm thinking, oh, she's an actress. I would love to go talk to her about whatever she's doing, and maybe
she's obviously not a Vietnam vet.
Exactly. But I'm like, I can't go anywhere. This sucks, and I'm sweating, and it's just brutal. Plus it was in Brooklyn. The Bronx. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't know the Bronx. So I don't know if there's a good part of the Bronx.
There is.
There's
a couple of very nice areas.
Oh,
in the
yeah?
Bronx. Yes.
Because this was not that.
Right, obviously.
This was this was a shithole. Right. And it took me, I got there, I had to be there at 8. I got there at 7:30. And it took me about 20 minutes to find a parking spot. And it was a good half mile away from where I had to be. So I'm walking. I'm like, oh, this sucks, but it's always good to get there early. So, so that sucked too, and of course I'm worried about my car. Is my car still going to be there when I get out of here? So so I go get changed. They give me all the Army stuff that I have to wear, and that's the only picture I got. So this is me in the changing room. That's the uniform
I just love
they
that
gave
you
me.
were being that much of a prima donna. You're like, no. My name is Walker.
That's right.
I need one that says Walker. It's the only way I can get into my zone.
It's just I need that reminder because I don't. Too stupid to remember. No, that was.
Well, I would used to say, you know how if my name, it's as true as if my name were, and people say their own name.
Right.
So my take on that was always to be like in the Air Force, be wearing uniforms and be like, and that's true if my name wasn't. And I would look down, and I never looked at, because Plajanos was over here. I would look down here. My name isn't Staff Sergeant Force. Some people got it, some people didn't. It was a wide net that was cast for. But anyway.
So that was purely coincidental, and but we're dealing with. Well, we're not doing theater, but we're dealing with actors and theater film people. So
I graduated Nassau Community College in 2003.
Exactly. Yeah. So I even tried to joke with the wardrobe woman. I go, "Oh," I said, "You knew I was coming, huh? You knew how important I was." Oh, that's my real name. Oh, yeah. Really, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Oh,
think of all those. She has to deal with all of those people.
Well, true, but I mean, do you think it's that often that somebody gets a shirt like that, and that's?
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's also being too cool for school.
Yes,
absolutely.
Right.
Like, I'm always here, and I always have to deal with these things. Shut the fuck up. This hasn't happened today yet.
And the worst, you know what I hate? I hate good-looking women who are bitches.
Oh.
Because this girl was good looking, and she had like this one-piece sweatsuit type thing, and she had no underwear on. So I kind of liked like the way her ass cheeks were jiggling. It's like, but I'm disappointed. I'm like, no, you're not good looking to me anymore because you're a bitch.
I'm so in love with you.
I'm too sexy for my underwear. So I have this uniform on. I go back and sit down. I get called around 11. So I'm sitting there for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Other than the fitting, doing nothing but listening to these two wackadoos argue. So around 11, I get called. They take me outside where they're filming a scene. I'm sitting on a park bench. And this scene, I mean, we were out there for an hour because filming movies, this has to be fixed. This has to be adjusted. This person tried this. But the whole scene itself, maybe 30 seconds, right? So I'm just sitting there, they're filming the thing, and I'm just hanging out. And, of course, now, again, these actor, film type people, there's a group of women standing maybe about 10 feet away from me, right? And I see them. They're looking at me, and they're pointing, and they're talking. So finally, I see this for a minute or so. So finally,
were you in Luke Cage? That'd be so fucking great. Tell me that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I was.
That would be really funny.
Were you there too? No, I just love your work.
I loved your facial expression.
You inspired me to follow my dreams and get into the world of extra-ing. In New York.
So, but of course, me after a minute, I'm finally like, and you see them.
I can see.
Yeah, right.
Looking at me.
I think there were 5 of them. At least 3 of them that immediately went. And 2 of them actually turned so their backs are to me. I'm like, oh, you bitches. So again, I'm turned off. So now I'm not looking. I'm just sitting there like this.
God, what a downer. No women were interested in you. I would have hated it too. That would have sucked. I'd be like, oh, fuck this extra shit.
Yeah.
He seems to be sexually attracted to me.
That's why I'm there. Rub the stump. Hey.
Are you into this?
So finally one of them comes over. She goes, all right. She goes, well, she goes, okay. She goes, we have some issues. She goes, we can't have the name. I'm like she's telling me like I'm a decision maker, Right. So I'm like, I go, okay.
No, I have to have it.
Well, I said to her, I go, just out of curiosity, how come? This is an Apple TV production. She goes, Apple does not have clearance. And she reaches down and she has scissors. She starts cutting the stitching. Sure. So I try to joke. I go, well, you don't have clearance. I said, for the word or the name Walker? I said, does somebody actually own that? She goes, I don't know. I go, well, I give you my permission. I said, my last name is Walker. And she looks at me.
I have to run this by the lawyers.
But she gives me this weird look, and so I smile. I go, it really is my name. So I thought it was funny. I said, but I'm only joking. Like, I actually say to her, I'm joking with you.
You are the professional.
Right.
Keep being professional.
So again, I get the, and she keeps on cutting. I'm like, and I'm thinking, I just want to punch you. That's all I'm thinking. So all of a sudden she stops. She walks away. She comes back with another woman, and they're looking around. There were, some other benches. There were some other people who were supposed to be Vietnam War vets too. And both of them, again, it's so acting,
Hoity-toity.
Yeah.
My mother.
And one of them goes, it's too green because we're all in, this army type gear. So
I know, real life's a motherfucker, right?
Exactly. Really, that's exactly the kind of thing I was thinking. So then they look at me because I had a shirt on underneath the army shirt. So I was sweating my ass off. They go, you take the shirt off. I'm like, okay. And they go, and I had a green hat to go and remove the hat. I'm like, fine. They take it and off they go. So so I was like a little disappointed. I was like, I had my name. That would have been cool.
Having your name on it to being naked. Like just this.
No, I would have been fine with that.
We need one naked, legless guy. Oh, if only we had that.
You imagine they said something like, we need you to be a little nutty. Can you masturbate? Like that would have been awesome.
Just aggressively.
I would have said, well, behind the camera, can you masturbate so I can get turned on?
Yeah, to get into
to get into the role.
Yeah. The girl with it's going to be easiest because she's not wearing any underwear. The makeup girl. Have her just zip a little bit, and we're cool.
So now I'm sitting there again. This scene is 30 seconds. They finish up. They send us back. I sit down, and it's 12 o'clock on the nose when I sit down to look at my phone. 12 o'clock sharp. So I'm like, okay, well. Oh, and I you know what? I skipped the part you'll appreciate the most. I was also in a bad mood because there was a whole big clusterfuck the day before.
All right, I'm in.
Wednesday. Should I take the chance?
I mean, we're here.
Okay. You're live on the air. Who's this?
Calling about your Google My Business listing.
Oh, all right. There you go. I didn't know the phone lines were on. But now they're not.
Thank you, Google listing thingy.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so the night before, I've had this book for at least a week now. The night before, they contact me. I had to send in the vaccination card and all that stuff.
Sure.
They get in touch with me Wednesday night, and they go, "You have not had your booster. We need you to have the booster." In order to come in, this is a full vaccination zone, or all that stuff.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, well, I've had the vaccinations. No, you need to get the booster. I'm like, oh my God. In fact, I was in here. Sallie and I were working Wednesday afternoon in here. We're doing just some, not on the air, just some behind the scenes stuff. And it's 6:00 at night. I'm like, where the hell am I going to get a booster now? I called CVS, and they put me on hold for the longest time, only to find out that they're not doing it. Went through the same thing with Walgreens. Rite Aid says, well, maybe, but you have to go through the website. Had a really hard time on the website trying to figure it all out. Sallie then called Rite Aid. She's like, look, your website sucks. Can we come in? And the guy goes, yeah, you're supposed to go on the website, but come on in. The Rite Aid, right over here, just a few blocks over. I'm like, oh, cool. Shoot over there, get the booster. And not that I'm against the booster, but me personally, I did the vaccines, the 2 shots, but I don't know. To me, my personal belief, the booster was a little overkill. All of it's still kind of new. I was like, I don't know if I want to do the booster.
Right.
But I wanted to work on this movie, and I figured, you know what, moving forward, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah, that's it.
So I was like, screw it. So I got the booster. So it's now that it's, and I had like I said, I had to be there. I got there at 7:30, so I left at 6 in the morning, had to get up at 5. Right. This booster kicked my ass. When I did the vaccines, no problem. This booster kicked my ass. I had the shits all night. I slept, I think, for 3 hours.
Nice.
So and my stomach was still feeling bad. I almost didn't go, but I'm like, no, this is a a cool thing I'm going to do. I don't do extra work that often. I like being in the movies. I'm like, I got to go. Made the commitment. So that too. I'm sitting there. I'm like, going through all this, and my stomach killing me. I'm like, oh, this sucks. So so I finish. So I finish that scene. I sit down at noon, and I'm sitting there. Like I said, I'm hot. These guys are arguing all day. These two are going back and forth. And again,
It's like, get a room, Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie. and again, I couldn't get up even to just go roam and check things out because I'm sitting there without my leg. At one point, it was around 12:30. One of the guys comes in and says, "Okay, I need these people over here. I need these people. Everybody, if you're in this area, everybody come with me." So I get up because he called my area. I get up, and sure enough, he sees me. He goes, "No, not you." And I stop. He goes, "We saw you a lot in the last scene. You're the one-legged guy." He goes, "You'll be seen in this scene." He goes, "I can't use you in this one." He goes, "So you can go back." I go, "But am I done, or do you want me to stick around?"
Rapping me?
He goes, "No, stick around." Great. It's the longest hour and a half of my life. It's 1:55, still sitting there this whole time, feeling like garbage.
And this was
I'm like,
yesterday. Oh, God, the traffic yesterday was fucking insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So so it was 1:55. One of the other guys comes over to me. He goes, if you want to put your leg on, feel free. I don't want you to feel like you're strapped in over here. I go, well, if I put my leg on, am I going to have to take it off 10 minutes later? I go, I said, what am I doing? He goes, no. He goes, no, put it on. So I look at him, I go, am I done? He goes, yeah, I think you are done. I go, I'm wrapped. He goes, yeah, you're wrapped. So I was so happy because again, hot, not feeling good, annoyed. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So, but of course, as I'm now changing, I get my leg back and I get everything. But of course, I'm thinking, why couldn't you fucking tell me that at freaking 12:30?
They don't give a shit.
Right.
They only care about what they care about.
So I get all dressed. I get myself together, hand in all the clothes and whatnot. I'm ready to go. Now I have to go to the guy that signs us in, signs us out, babysits us, so to speak. I go to him and I hand him the paper. I go, I give this to you, right? And he gives me. I go, I was told I can go. Really? I go, yeah. I said, I was told I'm wrapped. And he actually does. He actually goes like this. I go, I'm the guy that was on the crutches with the one leg. I go, they're really not going to use me that much because, they already saw me.
They already used me. Yeah,
so sure enough, he gets on his phone. He doesn't get to wherever he gets. He's now on his little walkie-talkie thing looking. 10 minutes. And again, I'm thinking, I just want to go. I just want to get out of here. I just want to get out of here. So finally, after 10 minutes, he found, you're good. Signs me off. And of course, I get lost because we were in the hospital. I get lost trying to get out of there.
What hospital,
I don't know.
Was it a closed down hospital or was it like a real hospital that just had some space?
I think it was a place that had space.
Yeah.
I'm not positive. It was on Finley Street, if that helps you.
Okay.
Finley and 169th.
Okay, yeah, and that's pretty far up. But because I was wondering if it was Jacoby or something like that.
Oh, no. I would have known that. No. So I finally figure out my way out. And then I didn't even realize when I was going in.
Kill me.
Oh, is it?
Because my brother worked at Montefiore.
Oh, okay.
That's up there too.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, go on.
I didn't realize it when I was going in, but now that I'm leaving, it's all uphill. So I'm like, oh my God. And then it was hot yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not going uphill in the and I'm like a half a mile. I get to the street my car is on. I'm like, oh, thank God my car is there. I get in the car. It was just brutal.
Yeah, you were not in the nice area.
No, not at all.
Because the nice area, Riverdale, like that's where Archie takes place.
Right, okay.
And then if you go over Mount Vernon, Co-op City, it's like pretty much kind of around there is okay. But like where you were was... We did a law thing at Fordham, which is just north of where you were.
Okay.
And it was like in high school. And it was like a fucking like demilitarized zone. There were so many guards everywhere and like...
Wow.
This has always been... Well, it was when I was like a heavy smoker. Like you go, hey, we're going to do this. And they're like, It's like, hey, where can I do this? They're like, nowhere. I was like, so I did. That's when you start looking for the college students, and you're like, oh, there's some
Right,
guys
we're the
smoking
cool
over-
kids, yeah.
There's somebody smoking over there. Well, I'm gonna go over there and smoke. And I've always looked older than I actually am, so
Right.
I look like I'm either a professor or a fucking student here.
Oh, I just looking at the comments. I think the comments are in response to the phone ringing before. Yeah, Carol says that was close. Yeah, that was close. I was a little nervous.
Yeah, but you like how we live on the edge?
That's us living dangerously.
Just a couple of edgelords hanging out in govs.
So that was my experience. They did tell me at some point that that I was seen a lot in the scene they were shooting. So I guess maybe I'll get some camera time.
Nice.
So that's a nice, that's a good payoff. But it kind of blew chunks.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I was on the road. I had to go and do something at work around 3 just to get to, what do you call it? Let's call it Deer Park.
Good water.
That's good. Yeah, Becca and I always, every time, Deer Park, that's good water.
Yep.
But yeah, like and everybody was just on their own program and everything. Yesterday, it was just like,
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
Waze had me going like through these roads, like inside roads and turns, and I mean it did a nice job avoiding the traffic, and it only took me about an hour 20 to get home, which I was surprised,
still-
but it was still a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just tough to holding the Waze, driving, trying to now I got to make this turn.
If they just would make something that held the phone, so you wouldn't have to do that. God damn it!
No. My point is whether I'm holding it or it's in a holder, it's still a fact. You got to look at it and figure out.
Yeah, but if you set it up just so it's like.
Yeah, I know people that do that.
It's all in
I
your.
don't
It's
like
a
that.
and it ends up being a heads up. It was all odd to begin with, but I've gotten completely used to it.
Yeah?
Matter of fact, so much so that it's kind of annoying. The one that I have to get a new one because where it is on the vent closes the vent.
Right. See, that I don't want either.
And so I put it higher, so now it doesn't. But now it's like it's like
Right.
talking to somebody over here.
Right.
Am I?
Yeah, some people put it on their windshield and it's right next, and I'm like,
Well,
I don't like that.
It's like a heads-up display. I don't know. I was able when I was in the Air Force to go into a flight simulator, and they show you what a pilot sees, like an F-16 pilot. 'cause
Sure.
F-16.
Yeah, because they get all
flight
those
simulator.
things on
And
the
it's
side.
HUD. Yeah, the HUD.
Is that what it's called? Yeah.
The heads-up display, and everything is just there. Because the cockpit window and whatever glass that they use, and they project things and everything, it's super fucking. I'm just always like, why can't we be here? They do it in sci-fi movies all the time. They'll have somebody driving a taxi cab, Fifth Element. He's got a heads-up display. Bruce Willis in his cab. And you're like, dude, I want that.
I just want to be transported.
Well, there's that too, yeah.
I mean, there's sometimes I do like a ride, well.
Who among us doesn't?
I do like to drive sometimes.
Yeah, you like to drive it in there? Sure. I got you.
In a situation like
Speaking
that,
my language, Tony Walker.
I just want to be transported. Carol Miner, I had family who lived in COOP.
Co-op City.
What's Co-op City?
Co-op City is a bunch of it's a co-op. It's just one of those you're driving up. If you're driving around and you're on 95, you'll see it. It's just 6 or 7.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
Apartment building.
Oh, I didn't know that's what that was called.
It's sort of very self-contained. There's schools there. There's shopping.
Oh.
I have a cousin who lived in Co-op City too, so it's actually kind of really cool. If you want to go to the Bronx, and that's Co-op City was on the other side of the Bronx. It was more towards Connecticut. You were more towards Manhattan.
Right. Okay. So. Yeah. So it was when she had family there. It was hilarious when my aunt would tell us to go outside and play. Where? Yeah. Glad you feel better. That first boost is a killer. No, I'm not feeling better, but thanks. I'm better than I was, but no, I'm still not 100%, man. My stomach is
The first booster didn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. The first shot laid me out. Second shot, I was just kind of tired. And then the third booster was like, and actually my wife and I were like, oh, I think we need to probably, because they've authorized the second booster for people. And now, like with boosters, like, and this is why I always go back to my experience with this, but the anthrax vaccination was a 3-series shot.
Okay.
So it took 1 month to take all 3 because you waited for 2 weeks in between. But then every year you were in afterwards, you got a booster on the anniversary of your first shot.
Oh.
And that one fucks you up.
Really?
Like not that you get sick necessarily. Some people did, but it because they give it into the back of the tricep.
Okay.
And it just becomes like this welt.
Really?
That is so insanely.
But that
painful.
wasn't mandatory, right? Because I didn't.
In the Air Force, it was mandatory.
Oh, in the service,
yeah.
I'm sure everybody. Yeah,
Like,
sorry.
I was
right.
And particularly I was in Korea at the time, and this was '98 when what's his name, Bin Laden nobody had heard of Bin Laden up until this point,
Right.
where he had issued this fatwa that you should attack all American uniformed service members wherever you see them, and that's one of the things. Like, we got the anthrax vaccination before 9/11, before all those anthrax things.
Right.
Because that was the threat 3-4 years before. So because I was in Korea, it was like, no, you have to. The joke was, all right, so I have to take this? Yes, you have to take this. All right, what if I don't take this? Well, then you can't be in Korea anymore. Like, okay.
Is that a threat?
Right. Don't threaten me with a good time. That would be like, yeah. So I refuse. No, I don't think you understand. Not only can you not be in Korea, but then you can't be in the service anymore, and we'll eject you.
I guess that would be considered a dishonorable discharge.
That would be under other than honorable conditions, just discharge, which can be upgraded to a general discharge a certain amount of time after, but not an honorable. You cannot get an honorable discharge.
Wow.
Like, it's not a bad conduct discharge, but
It's still kind of frowned upon.
yeah, it's just not good because civilians don't know what the fuck all of those things mean. And if it doesn't say honorable discharge, they're just like,
Right. You did something wrong.
so what did you do? Oh, we're not hiring this fucking guy. Right. So,
Right. Solar Witchy. Who is that again?
no.
I've seen the name before, but I forget who you are. Sorry, Solar. But you're giving us hearts, so that's exciting.
White hearts.
White hearts. So he or she's a racist.
Pretty much. White heart was the black heart, white hunter, black heart. That's it.
Yeah.
Black hunter, white heart.
When Sallie and I went to the Met game last week, the parking attendant was telling us where to go. He saw the handicap thing on my license plate, and he goes, "All right, yeah, park over there. Make sure it's in the blue. It's a blue spot." I said, so I just repeated. I said, "Blue spot." He goes, "Yeah, not the white ones, the blue ones." And he was a black guy, so he goes, "Yeah, not the white ones, the blue ones." So I yelled to him. I go, "You're a racist." And he actually, like, the look on his face at first, but then he eventually started to laugh. But
All lines matter.
oh, Stephanie is Solar. Hi, Stephanie. Stephanie is Nathan Norton's girlfriend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's very cool. So is Nathan. Go see him tonight at McGuire's. So that was my, that's been my couple of days. She said, "See, Sallie knows. This is why you're my fave, Sallie." Oh, now we're getting somewhere.
Cue up the Al Green again. Girl, I'm so in love with you. Yeah. Nice.
Oh, look, and Sallie sent her back red hearts.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Does that mean, like... I'm not going to go there.
We're like sportscasters, like commenting on a game.
Now we got the red hearts coming in from Sallie. Sallie's usually not on because she doesn't like to watch the show. She barely likes to be on it.
But she does a lot in her spare time when she's not here at the studio there, Bob.
Yeah, she sure does. No, I've heard stories from you. Dirty stories.
Oh, what is that?
She's
What is she rolling her eyes?
yes.
Is that what
Yeah. Yes, they're rolling back into the back of your head because you're thinking of your man.
Or Stephanie. I don't know.
Hey. Whatever.
Hey.
Yeah.
So have you dealt with a lot of PTSD then?
No. Like the whole being in the rear with the gear. Ooh.
And now, so Stephanie says, Sally and I are now together. We shared hearts, and now she's my girlfriend. But leave it to Sally to ruin the whole thing. Me and Sam gave Shep a bath.
What? There's a dog involved. Don't kink shame me.
Well, and Sam, she said her and Sam gave a bath, not Steph.
Yeah.
So now her son's involved. So that just...
How are you not going to like come like a wildcat when this is all over?
I was hoping it would, even if it was me and Steph gave Shep a bath. Shep is the dog. So even if she said me and Steph gave Shep, I'd still be okay. But it's the fact that Sam is in it, so.
Good times. PTSD was never, I didn't really deal with people who were in direct combat because we were in the rear with the gear. It's the Air Force. We had a couple of pilots that had some pretty hairy moments while they were in flight, and like when I was in Kuwait and the whole post 9/11 bit, and they would come back from these 10-hour missions to Afghanistan, and they had some crazy stories.
Yeah,
because like I was a staff sergeant, and the next highest ranking was a senior airman, 3-striper. I was a 4-striper. He's a 3-striper, and we were just in this little trailer right on the flight line. Like the Kuwaiti F-18s were literally right in front of our building, but there were 2 spots for our alert jets for when, like, anytime we were doing Operation Southern Watch, anytime Saddam would fly a plane, our guys would go up. Well, the F-16 guys would go up, and our guys would then get ready to, because the F-16s were going to do a visual, and if something was really bad, our guys would launch, and so that there would be 4, because 4 American jets, I'm going to tell you right now, can take out like whole air forces. So you only need 4 up there.
Wow.
But our building also had the guys who he was the debriefer, the 3-striper. When they land, they come to the debrief and they talk about whatever maintenance issues they might have been having, but they also log their flight time. And then you have an ops guy, like another officer in a flight suit, show up and start taking notes, start talking to them and asking them all of the things that they saw and whatnot, so they can start whatever report that they're gonna write. But so sometimes we were out there, and the guys they were just 10 hours. They're sweaty.
Ooh.
They're just shot.
Yeah, sure.
And
it's high pressure stuff.
So we had
10 hours.
water and everything for them, and a lot of times they would come out, because me and my buddy John we'd go out and have a cigarette right outside our building, and some of the officers would come up and be like, "Hey, Sarge, can I get a cigarette from you?" And be like, "Fuck, sir, of course."
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah.
Would you want it? We got water inside. We'll send one of the kids inside to get you. You want what? Yeah, if you could. Hey, shithead, go get him water. And so that we would deal with that occasionally, which wasn't that much. It was just, but we did catch these crazy stories. Like my favorite being that it was over in Afghanistan, and there was this special forces unit that was pinned down, and they could actually see from above this like whole group moving towards the position, and they were basically the special forces unit was about to be outflanked.
Okay.
And this guy goes down and he's firing at these, because he's configured mainly air to air to hit something else. And it is a huge difference. But he's got a gun, so he's going down and he's strafing them, right? But
what do you? I don't know what strafing is.
Oh, so strafe is when you come in to something on the ground, and you fire your gun.
Oh, okay.
And then you make paths. That's.
I know what you're talking about. I just didn't know the term.
The term is strafing. So
okay.
They're going through and strafing, and they're just not. The gun was not made for this.
Okay.
So it the casing cracks. Like, this is some of the stuff that happens in the debrief, so that we know, like, the debriefer can then send a job through our computer system to the guns guys and be like, "Hey, listen, the gun's fucked up on this jet. You need to go fix it."
Okay.
But he's out there smoking a cigarette with us, and he's like, "Yeah, fucking." I'm like, "What can I couldn't do anything." Like, I can't let these guys die. And this is a move they actually teach them in Weapons and Tactics. So here's this group. And what he did was he went into a dive and at one point kicks like this.
So he hits them?
And the jet actually moves like this. So it doesn't go straight up. It's just you go into enough of a dive and you kick out of it.
Yeah.
And you go into afterburn. And he lit these guys on fire.
Oh, goodness gracious.
But it was the bad guy. And we're like, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever heard. and he was like, yeah, it was like, and it fucking worked. He's like, I'm so relieved. And like, he was just very emotional from having gone through, like seeing our dudes getting attacked and like that he was able to do something, in a moment where he was like, I don't think I can do it. Oh, wait.
Wow.
What a way to go. What a way to not go. That's the worst.
Yeah, to not go.
Surviving that.
Right.
Hakeem, why are you half melted? Well.
Bosie, what if I said that Andy and I gave Shep a bath? No. Then Stephanie says we all gave Shep a bath. All right. Well, I hope so, because Sam would really enjoy seeing you, Stephanie. In the,
you guys talked about that the Jones Beach, but you didn't get to like everything.
Jones Beach?
Course, yeah. Which
what do you
was
mean? I mentioned that you did a set.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about when Michelle, the last one, and that Michelle actually asked Bosie and I if you could see her underwear through her dress.
Oh, I forgot all about. Oh, it's her birthday today.
Oh yeah,
happy birthday, Michelle Fox. So so we're talking about Michelle Fox at the last day at the last concert at Jones Beach,
and she looked like you could see them. And I took a picture for her to show her.
Yeah. And
she was like, "Oh, you can't really see it." I'm like, "No. But in real life, the camera only catches one thing. Our eyes are I said, "But if you're comfortable, you're comfortable." But she ended up changing, which I thought was a good idea, because if she had seen, it would have been. It was
definitely the camera definitely shaded it.
Yes.
You could see. Yes, Michelle had a white dress on. Jeff had noticed it, right? He pointed it out.
I suddenly have to pee like crazy.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
This is diabetes. I just want to point out diabetes.
I'll just finish up the story here. Yeah, so Michelle was wearing a white dress, and I believe it was Jeff that pointed it out that you could see he's actually running down the hallway. That Michelle, you could see through it, and kudos to Michelle. Yeah, happy birthday, Michelle. Michelle's awesome. Michelle Fox, go check her out. She's a regular here at Governor's. She was like, I don't care. I'm like, yeah, that's my kind of girl. Being stupid. She was willing to still go on the stage that way. Then Andy took the picture. He's like, look. And then she's still, not the bad. And he's Andy, Andy doing the right thing because he's a gentleman. He said, nah, this is, this picture's kind of dark. We can see it better than this picture is telling us. So she did. She went and changed. Look at that. See, I said I'll just have to explain it. I knew you'd be back in plenty of time. Did you pee down as you're going down the hallway?
Well, my penis is so big.
Yeah. Oh, you're able to.
I actually, you see that little piece of my penis is actually in the toilet. I just really had to go to shake and wash my hands.
Oh, okay. Smart. And then what do you kind of roll it up like a hose? What do you?
Sometimes.
So the tip is still in the hallway?
Sometimes. I mean, I'm really into the people stepping on it thing. It was good.
Kudos to you and Jeff. Jeff for pointing it out to her, you for taking the picture and doing the gentleman-like thing by saying, "Hey, no, this."
Well, like I said, to her, as long as you're comfortable, but I'm going to tell you right now, this picture is not doing justice to what we could see. Plus, there's going to be lights up there.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And she was. I mean, it was on her. She was asking. And
right. Yeah.
It was like, okay, good. And it's funny because one of my daughters ended up using one of her jokes in real time.
Really?
I forget where they were, but
you brought the family with you to that show.
So the girls got to see her perform, which I thought was really good. Because I'm their dad and I do comedy. They don't get to see females doing comedy, like,
Right,
and
right.
most females nowadays are pretty dirty, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, sure,
but,
yeah.
But just like it's just harder to find,
Yeah.
just in general, cleaner comedy. But it was the whole two smacks,
Yes.
that thing, because that's they ran into somebody who was being an idiot, and Charlotte was like, "Give them 2 smacks." That's I
funny.
can't wait till I see her next, so I could tell her that.
I bumped into that night. Not that it really matters, but I bumped into a cousin of mine I haven't seen in years that night. She said she was walking down the boardwalk. She heard a voice from the bandshell say something about governors. She turned to her boyfriend. She said, "Oh, I have a cousin that works there." And then they both looked over, and she's like, "Holy shit, that's him." So
I love when it's a situation like when you're that person being like, "Oh, I'll be in the city and be like, oh shit, my cousin lives in this neighborhood." Like you just realize where you are, and
Right.
you're like, "Oh my god, yeah." As a matter of fact, I think it's that building right there. And then all of a sudden, you walk by them,
right, yeah.
and you're like, "Hey," and they're like, "Oh my god, idiot."
I love situations like that.
But
I love that
it
stuff.
feels like it's set up. It
Yeah.
looks like it's set up to, I think, the other person that you're with,
Yep.
who's like, "Shut the fuck up. You
Yeah.
knew you were meeting your cousin here."
I was at the Ducks game Tuesday night, PAL event, and I'm talking to some of the PAL guys, and sitting in the same section was a girl that I coach in baseball. So she comes running over. "Hey, coach." She goes and sits. I don't even think she's in her seat yet. 2 rows behind her, now getting up to come over to say hi, is Dana McAllister.
Oh, nice.
And it's all the PL people. They're looking at me like, "What?" I'm like, and I said, "I know everybody." Just like that. I know everybody.
I miss Dana. I haven't seen her in forever.
Oh, that's the thing. I hadn't seen. So I said that to her. I said, "Where you been?" So yeah, she hasn't really, since COVID, she hasn't really been getting involved.
Well,
in
the last
comedy
time I
thing.
saw her was in like kind of the late winter, early spring when it was Steve Rocco Perilla's birthday,
Oh, okay.
and that we all did the roast here, and
Mm-hmm.
then went down to Coasters to
Right.
all meet up, and it was, and she had been on the show roasting Raniolo, another great guy,
Yeah.
but.
So, thanks for the. You gave me another segue talking about women, doing
Fucking
comedy,
what I
moving
do,
up in the
dude.
world. Well,
Segue machine.
so it turns out there is Major League Baseball. They've been finally embracing women. There's now women that are coaching. There's assistant general manager of the Baltimore Orioles. There's a woman. There's Alyssa Nacken is a coach for the San Francisco Giants. There's a girl that's coaching a New York Yankees minor league
Woman.
team. What's that?
A woman,
What did I say?
girl.
Oh, sorry.
Because it's not like you're like, there's this boy who's
Yeah, you're right.
coaching.
You're absolutely right. But now there's this woman named Jen Pawol, Pawol, P-A-W-O-L. P-A-W-O-L. Powell. Powell?
Yeah.
All right.
But it's like kind of an Eastern European take on
Oh, okay.
the name Powell.
Well, she's rumored to be called up. She's a minor league umpire. She's rumored to be. There's a possibility we may see her in the major leagues next year.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that's very cool. I
See,
like it.
I have to say, I'm on this road just as much as like the whole society is. When I was a kid,
Yeah.
I remember there being a big deal about there being women in locker rooms.
Yes. Right. It was women reporters back then. Yeah.
And I remember as a boy who played sports, getting into a conversation with my mother being like, yeah, they shouldn't be there. But what is the real thing is, yeah, but then these male guys get better access. So if you're talking about competing as a sports reporter, these guys can go in there and
Right.
talk to them.
Right.
But now this woman, like, you're not affording her, like, you're saying she can't work
Right.
there, which is kind of messed up. So I'm glad that they ended up changing it.
And quite honestly, I mean, these guys aren't walking around. I mean, the reporters aren't with them in the showers, so they're bare chested, so they're in their underwear. So what? It's nothing
Well, I
that we
think-
haven't seen.
I think back in the day,
Yeah.
they were like they'd be in their towels as they're being
In their
interviewed,
towels.
but all the leagues changed how they did that so that
Yeah.
there was no access until they were done with that part of it.
Right.
You know, it wasn't that they should let these women in there so they can while they're doing no.
Right.
It's like, don't let the males in at the
Don't
park,
let anybody in. Right.
at that part. There shouldn't be anybody there. Like
Right.
my wife, when she watches sports with me, it's usually like some kind of championship game, and I call the interview with the coach of the losing side the interview of shame, because it's so
It's so morbid.
it is like they're just like, we just we didn't have it today.
Right. The other guys wanted it more.
And you could see that how upset they are, and their whole life is to get to this spot, and the shit didn't fall their way.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh, and especially if it's like if it was Bill Belichick giving the interview.
Belichick would be in a bad mood.
Because Giants, being a Giants fan, there's 2 Super Bowls that I got to see the interview of shame by Bill Belichick as I'm sitting there like. And I'm like, oh, Billy Belichick has to do the interview of shame. And my wife is always like, that's not nice. And then I wish they didn't even talk to them.
He
like
can't
that.
hear me, honey.
Right? Yeah, like it's the Schadenfreude. I love my Schadenfreude.
Interview of shame.
English
I love
language
that.
needs to be better. We need more words for things.
All right. So I have a video I'm going to show, which I've not shown you. Well,
You should show some of those videos you have shown me.
well, I can't. But did you hear about?
Sally's watching? Could you please shut the fuck up?
Because she's in them. Did you hear about this woman who got dragged out of a taxi?
I've heard of women being dragged out of taxis, but I'm thinking not this specific one.
All right. Well, all right. So I'm going to show this one.
Tonight, a shocking incident.
Guys, what's going on?
Call the police! He robbed my phone!
Can you give her the phone? Can you give her the phone? This is an old woman.
Please!
Hello?
Please!
Can you not do that? Can you not stop and run away? You're gonna have to run over. Whoa!
Yeah, he's gonna, dude. Don't
The
fuck around.
horrifying moments captured on.
Yeah. He's gonna, all right.
Dude, don't. That's I shouldn't, but it's like that whole concept of snowflake,
Yeah.
whatever. Like how people are like, and it's a white dude who's holding that phone, going, "You're gonna have to run me over."
Yeah. I didn't show it, but he gets interviewed later on. He's in a cast and whatnot.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. And
He's like, I was just trying to help. It wasn't really the smartest thing to get in front of the car.
white people are the only people that do that. Like, I'm gonna get in front of the car because they won't hit me.
Right. He just threw an old lady in the street.
Right.
But he won't hit
go
me.
through this. Like
Right.
that's an old lady. He doesn't give a fuck about
Right.
you. Like get the license plate, get a shot of his face.
Right.
And that's all fucking super cool. But don't try to be. Well, you're not Superman, dude.
Right. So, what would your punishment be to that driver?
So I don't know what's going on because bitches be tripping sometimes.
Well, the reports. What did they say? The old lady, why he threw her out?
She told him to
no,
stop
it was
and get
nothing.
directions.
It was nothing. I forget what it was. He started. He was in the wrong from get go. And
No,
she
of
was
course.
just trying to, I think, call the cops.
Was
or
she
something.
like was he an Uber driver or something like that?
It was a driving service of some sort.
yeah.
I don't think it was taxi, but it was a service. It wasn't
Right.
Uber. It was Jay's. I don't know why I said Jay, but Jay's taxi. I don't.
Well, because those people have a horrible record. Jay's Taxi.
Oh, is there a Jay's taxi?
I don't know.
I thought maybe
It's this comedy show, man.
I didn't want to say your taxi because that
You
would have made
people taxi.
you people taxi.
That'd be great. What do you mean, you people? Yeah, the taxi service is what I meant. Right? Oh my God. That's what we should do is come up with something called You People. So that anytime anybody accidentally says You People and somebody calls them on it, like, what the hell do you mean by You People? I don't know. The fucking video production company.
That would be really funny.
But yeah, he was probably wrong. But the guy who took the video, while doing all the right, he was in the right up until he tried to get in front of the car. Now, if he was in his own car and tried to get in front of the car, that's a super cool thing to do.
Right.
Because that's going to be weeks of stupidity that you're going to have to deal with. But you did something good, and you didn't hurt yourself in the process. That's like my favorite thing, my least favorite thing are zipper merges where everybody knows it's a zipper merge. But the person you're in that lane that is merging into. Okay. And the person who it's every other one, and now it's going to be my turn, they start speeding up.
Yeah.
Which I don't, like, I honestly don't know why you would do that in any.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's just no situation where that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like when you're behind somebody on the highway, particularly the parkways, because they're all usually like 2 lanes. And you're going and you're like, okay, I'm obviously going 5 miles an hour faster than you, or at least want to. There's nobody over here. This happens to me every time I come here. There's nobody to the right. I'm not supposed to pass on the right. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to... Okay, 20, 30 seconds. All right, I'm now going to go... I'm going to go into the right lane, and I'm passing you, and I give the very disapproving white male suburban dad... as I'm passing them.
Yep.
And then they start speeding up.
Yeah.
And you're like, I get it. You have a car that goes fast too. But you were not going fast. Like, why now are you doing this?
Right.
It literally doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And I call it, I'll be in the, and it's not like, oh, nobody I know does this. Like, particularly my brother, you never want to go driving with my brother anywhere. Because he'll throw in the James Bond theme music and drive to the music. Especially when he lived on the Upper East Side.
James Bond music.
Yeah. The FDR, that was like the primary, like my family, like where your family is from in the city is sort of how you drive into the city. It's also why you ended up where you ended up.
I love driving in the city. There are no rules.
Oh, that's not true. There's totally rules.
But nobody follows them.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
It's just a free-for-all, man.
It just feels like that.
I love it.
Because we don't have that many people driving all the time. It is actually incredibly ordered. And as long as you understand that there are people who are going to make what would be a snap decision out here, which nobody's in any kind of danger in a snap decision out here. Yeah. In there it will be because there's just more people.
Right.
Because I have a friend of mine, my best friend. We were helping another guy move into the city. And Giuliani was the mayor still. And we pull up to this intersection. He's from Suffolk County, born and bred. He's a Marine Corps. My best friend was a sniper. He was in the Marine Corps all over the world. He starts inching into the walkway. And luckily it's like my best friend, so I'm able to go, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I'm being aggressive. I'm being an assertive driver. I'm like, no. Don't. Have you never heard of Don't Block the Box?
Right.
Giuliani, the whole fucking thing. It was brilliant. I have to say that's one of my favorite things that guy ever focused on. Because, I mean, before that and now, I mean, if you go in there now, there's just people just hanging out in the middle of the fucking intersection.
Oh yeah.
And it's like no. You have to gauge. Am I going to be able to go, or am I going to be stuck in the middle? That's not to be stuck in the middle because I'm going to get a fucking ticket. But I said, I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, I'm being aggressive. No. This isn't being aggressive. This is being stupid.
Yeah.
You're trying to get yourself a ticket. Please stop doing this. There's no turn on red, so there's no reason for us to be fucking pulling out into the thing. And that's conversely, it's one of my favorite things to somebody has obviously just moved out here from Queens, and you're like, turn.
Right. Well, the opposite. Even yesterday, going to this film. Actually leaving when I left, I almost made a turn. I had to stop myself. I was like, "Oh yeah, there's no turn on red here." So it's
I have a very regimented approach to that.
Well, yeah, because you're trained. You're a trained professional.
I am.
You were just mad at your friend for doing that because if a cop came over to give him the ticket, he would have found you smoking a joint, which was illegal at the time.
That was just I was hammered, but no. It was 9 o'clock in the morning, so I was definitely drunk off my ass.
Well, that's legal. It's fine.
But that was before I got back into it. Which this is going to be a crazy trip. I'm going upstate and to Pennsylvania. I'm not going to be performing, though. Who knows? If they throw me up, they throw me up, but that's not the point of this. But I'm going up with Jay, Fat Jay, Billy, Joe Winchell, and Terry McNeely.
When?
September 24th or something like that.
So you're traveling with them.
Right, up there. Like, the joke has been, like, I'm carrying the bags. And I realized I very aggressively did this joke with Billy where I turned to him and I said, but I'm not carrying your fucking bags. And I think he took me seriously. So I have to go back and be like, hey, you know I was joking. And he's going to go, I don't remember that. That's probably how that's going to go.
It's going to be their nickel and dime bags that you're going to be carrying. You're not going to survive this. Do you realize that?
Well, I'm just kind of looking forward to that. For that, I got to write what I wrote to Fat Jay or what Fat
goodness.
Jay. Yeah, he's like, what are those Funky Bunch dates? And he's like, September 23rd and 24th. I said, I'm in. He's like, nice. Then he immediately writes, it's going to be sick, which you can imagine him saying. Let me try to do this like Jay. It's going to be sick. Bring your smoking shoes and jacket, LOL.
Oh, my goodness.
But then Billy has this idea.
Uh-oh.
And I'll tell you off the air. I'm never going to fucking know because I don't want this to get... it has the possibility of us getting into trouble, but it's also, like, kind of gay.
Well, what?
No, it's like all these things. Yes, I'm teasing. Because we're going to be doing video. I've decided I'm going to be making videos when I'm with them. I actually don't want to perform. I just want to, like... Because I had...
Document?
Did I tell you the night that I got obsessed with Spumoni and I needed to go out and get Spumoni?
That does ring a bell, actually.
Well, because I posted a picture of Turkey Hill.
Oh, yes.
Has these mystery flavors of ice cream, and they're all half gallons. And my point is ice cream is such a personal thing to people.
Yeah.
Who's going investing in an entire half gallon, not knowing if you're going to...
So it's Turkey Hill, and you have to guess the flavor.
And I looked it up online, of course, because online has everything, and it's blueberry pancakes. And the thing is when I said it, my brother was like, well, what if it was Spumoni? And that's why I looked it up. And I'm like, well, it wasn't, Dick. So, but, yeah, so here's what happened. I'm at, I go to ShopRite first, my town. Now it's 9:00. This isn't like a good time to be looking for Spumoni. But I go to ShopRite. And they have the ShopRite by us has a huge ice cream section. And like
as all supermarkets should.
And they have like so many different brands and everything. So you're having to go through and being like very orderly of being like, I don't want to have to go anywhere else. Was nothing else. So I go to an Uncle Giuseppe's, which there's one in Port Jeff Station, right down 112 from there. I go in there and I'm like, the Sauce Monkeys will have it. They love Spumoni. Matter of fact, Spumoni comes from the Sauce Monkey.
What's a Sauce Monkey?
It's an Italian.
Oh.
So we've been using that out at our mic.
Holy crap.
Billy's mic, we say, we call Italian people Sauce Monkeys. That's Sauce Monkey. I mean, half the guys are Italian. Like, it's just funny. I broke it out on LaRocco and Crovella a couple of weeks ago when we did the Green show, and the place was a madhouse.
Yeah.
And in between shows, we're out there, and I was like, "You Sauce Monkeys know." And Crovella just like searched Crovella. What the fuck's just going? And Dan's just like, "Sauce? You said Sauce Monkey?"
Yeah, that's Dan.
All right. It's like, that's funny. It's funny. It's funny. I don't know why you call this Sauce Monkey. Because you are Sauce Monkeys. But,
that's great.
It also led to me and Billy looking up racial slurs. And this is a great one for Irish. You're a bog stomper. Listen, you bog stomper.
That's perfect.
Isn't that so great?
That's great.
Two of us just crying, going through reading these things to each other. And like 99% of them are like non-white or white and non-black. What all those people call black people. It's just like, you're just like, oh, the whole world? Really? Like,
right.
Come on.
You couldn't come up with something more original?
Well, not even that. It's just like why did you feel like you had to? Like, there was,
Right. Yeah.
There's no you go because it depends on like the country, like India. Like, did you really have to come up with a word?
Right.
Like that's so messed up. But so the idea is because I went to go find a spumoni and I go through at Uncle Giuseppe's. I'm like, they gotta have it here. No spumoni. I'm like, fuck. And I go, God, I wish there was somewhere you could call. Bet you if I called Fat Jay, that would be funny. Like if he knew where I could get spumoni. And I'm like, that would be funny if everybody, when they come to like a food problem, they're like, call Fat Jay. Because like, doesn't he always? He's like, all right, Mr. Tony,
Yeah.
they got good brajol there, but I'll tell you where to go to. You go to my man. Blah,
Yep.
blah. And he's got like such specifics, and often he doesn't have it, but if you talk to him for long enough, he knows Fat Jay. So he says, "Hey, Fat Jay, I got the brajol." Like
It's true.
Right?
Even Tuesday Trivia gets mad at me. I don't know anything about that subject, Mr. Tony, but if you get, I know rap, old school rap, and I know food. So please.
So here's the bit that I want to do, and I'm going to be filming, is it's the Equalizer, but it's about food, and Fat Jay's the person that people go to. Like, I can't go to anybody else, Fat Jay.
Right.
Like, where can I get this kind of cut? All right, I don't normally help out somebody who I don't know, so like, just something along those lines.
I'm trying to think what you would call it. The foodalizer?
Oh, I know, dude. I drive right now. Since it occurred to me, it's been like a week. Every time I'm driving by myself, at some point I come to the delicatizer, the delecticizer, the deliciousizer. All those things.
Jeff is saying you sound just like Jay.
Well, Jeff Bose, it's funny you say that.
Oh, Caroline wants to know what happened to that jerk driver that threw the old lady on the ground. Now, I have to say, I'll show it again because it's awful, but it does look funny to me. This lady's just laying on the ground. She's trying to hit this guy with her cane.
And posted to Twitter of an accessorized driver dragging his 78-year-old passenger out of the car.
This is an old woman.
The dispute starting when the taxi driver, identified by his
It just makes me laugh. And she's yelling, "Call the police! Call the police!" Now, and I'm the first to admit that sometimes an old person is a horrible impression of me. I'm the first to admit that sometimes old people need a little whacking.
Oh, totally. God,
They're
they fucking live.
We have to wait for them because they move slow. They forget where they are half the time. So no, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
But we don't know the circumstances here. Should I look it up? Should I look up what happened?
That was another man he hit with his car. That is completely unacceptable.
That's right.
We don't hurt other men. We only hurt the old ladies.
Yeah, it's awful. That's why I asked what your punishment would be, because I would. This is one of those situations. Although I'm one of those people who say in most situations, these people should just be set free and let people take care of this in the street.
Man, vehicular assault, I think, is what it's called. I could be completely wrong.
Ooh, she's 78 years old.
That's hot.
She was robbed. The video shows the woman putting up her best fight against a taxi driver. He robbed her of her phone and wallet. Oh, wow.
Why, though? See, here's where MO needs to come, like what your intent was. That's fucking weird.
That is odd that he would just single out this particular woman and take her.
Yeah, there's more to this that's not.
There's more here than meets the eye.
More than meets the eye.
So Carol, it didn't say actually. I didn't even get to the.
I do that with my phone all the time.
I didn't
wait,
get
that's
to
not what I was even looking for.
Right. The car in the video is the white Nissan Sentra. The license plate on the vehicle shows that it is a registered ride-share car. Okay. Is that like an Uber or something? Ride-share?
Yes, that's that. Yes, ride-share would be Uber or Lyft. Yeah.
This article was from yesterday, and at the time of this article, there were no arrests made. which is weird to me as well because you can clearly see the driver. You can see the license plate.
But there's other crime going on in the world. That
there must be
they're
somebody.
They're going to get to him. Like they're going to get to him.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
But
right.
Like that's what, like all right. Everything is not right now. Especially when you watch. I watch all these cold case documentaries.
Yeah.
On YouTube or Netflix or whatever, and shit doesn't happen. Like they want to. Like the cops really want to. They want to be able to go out and get. But there's so much other shit going on.
True. And speaking of other shit.
Ooh, segue.
I'm trying. So have you heard about this shit with Tiffany Haddish and Ari Spears? Have you heard about this?
I saw something about Ari Spears. Somebody had posted something about mashed potatoes and him. So I have not gotten to
mashed
the point
potatoes
where.
Now I have to say I don't know a lot about Tiffany Haddish. But Ari Spears, I think it's one funny bastard.
Oh yeah, he does. He was like really kind of the original great Mike Tyson impression.
Oh yes,
he was the first one who was that you saw it on a regular. That he.
So the two of them are being sued by a woman who alleges that the two comedians forced her and her brother separately to perform inappropriate sexually aggressive acts on camera for sketches when the siblings were underage.
Is there a crime in there?
A 22-year-old woman accuses them of intentional infliction of emotional distress, gross negligence, sexual battery, sexual harassment, and sexual abuse of a minor.
One more sexual, and the Candyman appears in
the
mirror behind you.
Haddish is also accused of negligent supervision, failure to warn, breach of fiduciary duty, and constructive fraud.
It's too many words. They need to cut that down.
It supposedly happened when this woman was 14 and her brother was 7.
What?
Whoa. Haddish's attorney said the plaintiff's mother has been trying to assert these bogus claims against Ms. Haddish for several years. Every attorney who has initially taken on the case, and there were several, ultimately dropped the matter once it became clear that the claims were meritless. And
they could lose their license if they carry forward with the fucking thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And, Ms. Haddish says she will not be shaken down. So now the mother and the person, the daughter, who's now an adult, they're representing themselves in the lawsuit.
Going to get thrown out.
Yeah, and even Ari Spears' attorney has said he's not going to fall for any shakedown. The complaint describes an alleged incident in which Jane, one of the victims, the girl victim, filmed a sketch in the summer of 2013, and an alleged incident in which the brother filmed a sketch in the summer of 2014. They met Haddish when they were younger, after their mother befriended Haddish through the comedy circuit.
Oh,
so the mother's a comedian. Yeah,
the mom's an open micer who's like, let me get in on this.
The siblings claim that they used to call Haddish Auntie Tiff, and that she called them her niece and nephew. They maintain that Haddish recruited her to film a video when she attended a comedy camp where Haddish was a guest speaker. Haddish and Spears had the girl watch a video in which an older man and a college-age woman shared a sandwich in a manner that simulated the act of fellatio while moaning and making sexual noises.
That's hilarious. I need to see this.
I have a sandwich. I have my lunch in the bag.
No, I want to see them. I don't want to see it.
Spears then allegedly told the girl to mimic what she had seen on the screen, including the noises, precisely what she heard throughout the video. The girl was nervous and disgusted.
Why would she be nervous and disgusted? These are people eating fucking sandwich.
They just really love their food.
And this is I'm actually thinking to myself, this is a brilliant way to use an underage person in a way that you can then later make it look way worse.
What?
Well, that came out wrong. We're going to edit that part out later on. Go on.
Haddish verbally explained that what was expected of the plaintiff, and then showed her how to give fellatio, including movements, noises, moaning, and groaning. So then she did as was asked and was paid $100 not to disclose to her mother what had happened. The lawsuit goes on to claim that Haddish recruited the brother a year later for another video, which was eventually posted on the website Funny or Die under the title Through a Pedophile's Eyes. Oh, my goodness. The complaint alleges that The shoot took place in Spears' home both siblings attended, though while the girl was told to stay downstairs. According to the complaint, Spears played a pedophile in the video, which included scenes of him massaging baby oil onto the boy's back and smoking a cigarette while watching the boy nude in a bathtub.
But not really. Right. It's editing. Yes.
Yeah, but that's still a pretty weird video to make.
Oh, totally. But, Daniel Tosh, if you ever watch, like, the Tosh 2.0 show, he would have sketches where there would be children in them. And when they would come back to him after they played the sketch, he would always mention about how, there was creative editing. He would make a joke out of it, but that it's very creative editing. Like, he's like, I'll always be able to be hilarious because of creative editing and parents who have no souls and want to sell their children into Hollywood.
Oh, my goodness. And unfortunately, there is a ton of them.
Oh, God, yeah. But a lot of the times, and even I feel like Juliana, for one of the Shut Up Stupids, not that it was sexual in nature or anything, but they didn't tell her what it was about. They just had her say a certain thing and then edited in. Like, she didn't get the whole concept of what was going on.
Yeah.
Because it was the one branding and about selling out and how Tim Sallie has Shut Up Stupid and his daughter has something that's like Shut Up Stupid, but it's called something different, and she's like talking about turtles and straws and everything, and then it goes to Kevin, and Kevin's doing this bitch please of his talk show, and there's so many different ones, and then it comes to Juliana's is like You're a Poopy Pants or something is the name of her show, but it's all in the style of Shut Up Stupid,
right? Yeah.
And it's hilarious. Watch the old Shut Up Stupid videos.
Please.
I can't, but like they're, because they keep coming up in the memories now. Now it's like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of like insane.
Yep.
But there was so much cool shit going on. Let me rephrase that. We were doing really cool shit that you people need to watch. But
yeah, I miss Shut Up Stupid. But they have a new show coming.
I heard, yeah, with Rich.
With Rich,
yeah.
And Jeff, who's watching, what happened? They threw Jeff out.
No. He traded Jeff in, and all he could get was Saliani and Carlo.
He got so let's do 2 for 1. Yeah. So yeah, they figured Keegan's off with the other guy, so
yeah.
we'll snag Rada. So yeah, it's and again.
Sometime in September. Right?
Another segue. We have
You're
that show.
Welcome.
We have that show coming. You know what? I'll tell you in a second what it's called. Because it's so new that I don't even remember off the top of my head. So it's Rich Rada, Tim Saliani, and Carla Okerson. They have a new show. Why Are You Like This? It's called. It's going to be premiering here on Gov's Comedy Club podcast. It'll be on Wednesday nights. We're doing some shifting around here. It'll be on Wednesday nights. Prior to them on Wednesday nights will be Joey Petroni, Good Times, Bad Times. He's moving his show to Wednesdays because prior to Hershey and the Keegs on Tuesdays at 9, we have a new show coming on Tuesday nights with, take a guess.
John Butera.
Oh, you knew.
But I was there, because I was there for like...
Oh, he came in that night.
Yes.
I'm ready to do my show here. Well, just clear a time for me, Tony.
Yeah.
Clear a time for me for what works, but Tuesday's the only good day for me.
Yeah, during this period of time.
Yeah. So that's what we did. So John Butera is going to be bringing a sports show in here soon. It'll be on Tuesday nights, followed by Hershey and the Keegs, who also do sports. So it'll be Sports Talk Tuesdays. How's that?
Oh, Sports Talk Tuesdays. I like that.
You like that? Sports Talk Tuesdays here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. John Butera, and then Hershey and the Keegs.
I came up, and everybody talks about their process in comedy, and this is a different take for me because I came up with the punchline first. So I have no premise, I have no setup.
Okay.
And it's hard for me to say it, so I need to kind of concentrate. That's funny. You don't look jiu-jitsu-ish. That's funny. You don't look jiu-jitsu-ish. There we go. I got it. It's got to be delivered like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like she doesn't look Jewish.
Maybe that's
John
a bit in
Candy,
itself where you tell everybody I don't have a premise or a setup.
So
but
that's
I
how I've been
my
doing it
punchlines
at Mike's. That's what I do, and I am.
So give me another one.
Well,
that can't be the only one.
No, but it's part of this sort of deconstruction of comedy thing that I'm kind of doing, which I may or may not have told you. I've come up with an idea for a restaurant. It's a hot dog restaurant.
Okay.
It's a Western theme.
Yeah.
And what it's called is Get Along Hot Doggy.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's lyrical. And then that'll be right next to my nail salon called Just the Tips.
That's good.
There's a lot of non sequiturs and whatnot.
Yep.
I was talking to Billy, and we're trying to come up. We're going to probably do a sketch coming up that we're talking about names and how like his people call him Billy, and Bill Burr had did a thing on his podcast about being called Billy as an adult.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah, I've heard it too. And Billy's like, yeah, it's kind of weird. And I kind of felt like I was strange because I don't mind being called Billy.
I know two guys who they're both in their 50s. They prefer being called Bobby. That sounds very little kiddish to me.
And so I said, yeah, I saw the thing with Bill Burr, and it kind of pissed me off a little bit because you guys have William, Willie, Will, Billy, and Bill. It's 5 things. And now, granted, part of this is my own, like, I didn't know Drew was an alternate for Andrew when I was young. It wasn't until I was like in my late teens that somebody had brought it up, and I'm like, oh shit, that's where I guess that's where that comes from. I just never heard it. Okay. So it was always either Andy or Andrew. I did try to do the Drew, and I've told the joke before. It's in my act, but truthfully, there was a guy who started calling me Drew that I played hockey with at Hope House that I was like, why are you calling me Drew? And he's like, I'm working it up so I can call you Drewshback.
Right.
So it just never occurred to me. So it was always either Andy, which is like Andy, or Andrew, which is like.
But it I don't know, but it's known. Like, you're known as Andy Plagano.
Oh, no, absolutely. I've come to terms with it. I'm in my fucking late 40s, Tony. It's not like I'm like. But I'm saying, like, I've always felt like it was like I kind of had like Sophie's Choice. You know, it's just not going to go well. But Billy, and even Timothy, my brother's name is Timothy. We have Timothy, Timmy, and Tim. So Tim is actually, even though it's the shortest one.
But do you have a Timmy?
Or Timmy. Timmy. I love Timmy. We actually had a guy in the last squadron I was in the Air Force who he looked exactly like Timmy.
Oh, really?
Like the fucking squared off head, the high forehead, and the fucking stupid bowl cut.
I knew these two guys that worked. They actually worked together. I was friends with one guy, but then he brought this other guy into the group, and we became friends. Both of them together, and they worked together, which made me laugh. They look like Beavis and Butthead. Both of these guys. I have pictures somewhere. I'll have to look for it.
Like what was the thing that there were 2 comedians who were performing. And Rob White was like, you're fucking shitting me. Because we were looking at the poster. And we're like, what? Because it's Bert and Ernie. Because whatever their names were had Bert and Ernie in them.
Oh, really?
And it was like, how are they not promoting this as Bert and Ernie? And we were all like, oh my God, I did not see that until now. And now you can't unsee it. And they look like Bert and Ernie. What?
Oh, that's funny.
How has nobody ever said this to them? But so Billy's telling me, like, yeah, you know, I never liked Willie, and he goes, you know, my parents had to sit me down and tell me that my name was really William.
They had to sit him down.
And I start laughing. He's like, I mean, I was like 4. Like, he was like young, because they realized that his mother is like the sweetest.
Oh yeah,
woman
very nice lady.
Ever gonna meet. I could just picture her just being like, all right, Billy, it's not that's not actually your name, honey. I'm sorry. It's actually William, but Billy is. You can call somebody Billy whose name's Will. You know, like I just have this, and then Billy's like, you know what we should do? We should do a sketch where it's my parents breaking it to me now.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
That like, and to be like, no
that's
wonder
great.
I always got marked absent. I didn't say here when they said William Dyer.
And who's this guy with the same last name as
I've
me?
been looking for that asshole for a long time.
So Jeff says, yeah, it's a way that they're putting together the show because they're snubbing him out. Jeff, we got to kick some ass for you. We will. But you're Jeff Bosey, man, and you've moved up in the world. You have like your own fan club coming to see you at your shows now. You're doing murder mysteries.
Boats, let's get you and Keegan together and have a show called I don't know, something like Domestic Shut Up Reason.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. It is time for us to get out of here. It's actually after 12:30. Yeah, so come check us out. You can see Jeff Bosey. I'll see you're full of segues today.
Dude.
Come see Jeff Bosey performing with Knockem Dead Comedy on Friday, October 28th in the Giggle Room here at Governor's. We're performing our murder mystery show just in time for Halloween. It's a murder just in time for Halloween. It's an 80s themed contest, costume contest, and a murder just in time for Halloween. Go to govs.com to make your reservations for this. I'm going to move it on you to screw you up.
Now I'm going to have to aggressively finger bang it.
You went the wrong way.
I don't know where I am.
Govs.com. Check out this great 80s theme murder mystery Friday, October 28th in the Giggle Room. Go to govs.com. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com. Find out what we got going on. We got a lot of shows coming up this fall, some in Suffolk, some in Nassau, but we'll be around. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com and find out as well who we are, what we do, and how you can hire us for your private party, your corporate event, your fundraiser, whatever it is you got going on.
Do it.
Get in touch with us, knockemdeadcomedy.com. Let's see what else. And, of course, this great studio of ours, if you'd like to do your own podcast, whether it's on your own or on our platform, you'd like to just do any kind of video or audio, get in touch with us on our Facebook page, Govs Comedy Club Podcast.
Any kind of video.
Any kind of video.
Any video you'd like to do.
Not the Ari Spears type video. But
funny.
Yeah, something. Yeah, exactly. Get in touch with us on our Facebook page, Govs Comedy Club Podcast, which is also the name of our YouTube channel. Please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tell all your friends about all the great shows here. Speaking of which, let's see. Today is Friday. I don't know if we're doing Green Room tomorrow. I don't think we are, because I don't think there's anything going on in the
There's
Giggle
not
Room,
a
right?
whole lot going on.
Yeah, it's a holiday weekend, so I don't think there's a lot going on. So we probably won't do it. So we'll be back. I think we'll be back next weekend then to do it. But I think Sallie and I are here Monday on Labor Day. I think we are. I don't know.
She's not going to be.
She's going to be mad.
That's hilarious that you just said that.
Well, I'll be here probably
to get away.
As I get yelled at as I walk out the door. I don't know. I'll let you guys know if we're on Monday or not. But I think we usually do come in here. Labor Day is not like a big. It's not like you have fireworks or you go to some party.
I love that you're the guy who wears red on Thursdays.
I'm all about it.
You're like, Labor Day.
But I come in here honoring Labor Day, and I like entertaining all the people that deservedly get their day off. So
you don't think it's not laborious to listen to you?
Well, my mother watches, so
right.
It's the only way she gets to see me because I don't go over there. She, when she starts drinking and stuff, I don't like being. She's a mean drunk. I don't like.
She's very handsy.
Well, now you're on her shit list.
I never even fucking met her, so I'm cool.
Oh, maybe I should do that.
What's that?
I should go pick up my mother on Monday and bring her in here.
Oh, that would actually, why not?
That would be fun. She's now fainting as I say this. All right, well, maybe I'll make that happen.
Right.
She's actually off today. I could have brought her in today. Although, yeah, she wouldn't last with you.
So how many years have you been doing it? It's like, I should bring my mom in sometime.
Right, just thought of it now.
Why have I never thought of this?
I've had her on the phone in here. I've had her on the phone. All right, so we're out of here. So there's nothing tonight. So then we'll be back Monday. Mm-hmm. Monday at 11. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Have a great time. What do you got? Anything
Nothing this weekend.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing a lot of writing with Billy this weekend.
All right, very nice. Everybody enjoy your weekend. We will see you Monday.